Hello, this is UnDeadBros M41A here. Today we will be comparing 45 ACP, 230 grain, 10 millimeter, 180 grain, and 9 millimeter, 124 grain full metal jackets. 10 millimeters got a wad cutter. Compared to penetration on these bottles and damage to them, and a cinder block. And yeah, I'm UnDeadBro number 2. This is my face reveal. And yeah, we'll start shooting now.
Alright, so I'll be shooting first the 9mm. This is a Star BM. It's a Spanish pistol, so shoot it first. Alright, so you can see the small, I think that's the entry hole. Yeah, that's definitely an entry hole because that's the exit. Ripped out the back, cracked it along there. Pretty small hole. Very, very small hole. So, did blow the lid off. But pretty disappointing little bullet. Alright, now we're going to try the 45. We got a Glock 21. Gen 4. This is the Blue Label program gun, so it's got night sights on it and stuff. Pretty awesome. So here we go. Alright, so there's where it went in, and there's where it came out. Somewhere in there. Didn't catch it, it did come out, so. But as you can tell, you've probably seen the video, it did jump a lot higher when the bottle was hit with a 45 versus a 9, because it's like getting hit with a real man, by a real man versus by a little girl. So now we'll try the 10 next.
So this is a Glock 10 millimeter, 4th generation. And here we go. As you can see, this Glock has a back plate that says what it is, the best MM in handguns, because the 9 millimeter is obviously the worst and this is the best. As you can see, the entry hole actually split more than the exit wound on the 9 millimeter because it's a woman's cartridge. The exit wound split the entire bottle all the way up and stayed melted open. Much more powerful.
Alright, so you can see all the exits lined up with the 9mm on the left, and then the 45 and the 10mm. So we lined them up in worst to greatest, as you can obviously tell. So now I've done the same thing again, except with the entry holes. So there's the 9mm, it's a tiny little baby, like needle-sized hole, if you can't tell. Then there's the 45, and then the 10mm, which is absolutely huge. Alright guys, so now we're going to shoot these books. We got College Trigonometry, Social Research, and Statistics for Dummies. Only dummies would need to read these books, so we're going to shoot them instead. These have both been shot already, but this one hasn't, so we'll shoot through this one first. Yeah, show the pistol first. Alright, so now we're going to start with the 9mm again. So, went through the first book. Actually, no it didn't. It stopped in the first book. There's the bullet right there. Piece of the bullet. So, didn't even go through one book. Just stopped in the first one. Alright, now we got the 45. We'll see what it does. Alright, so here's the 9. Here's the 45. As you can tell, the hole is much bigger, because 45 is obviously bigger and better, you know. And it stopped right there. It actually came through the first book a little bit and dug itself into the second book like the 9 did, but it did make a much bigger hole here than the 9mm did. As you can see, even on the inside, much bigger, manlier.
So if you bought the 9 millimeter for penetration, you're wrong, obviously.
Yeah, 45 full metal jacket penetrates just as good as a 9 millimeter, even better actually.
10 millimeter. So right here's the 10mm entry hole. There's the exit on the book. It's a much cleaner cut. Went through that. The second book, went through the third book. The bullet's gone into the ground somewhere. So this is a bullet comparison. Here's the 9, 45, and 10.
Alright, so now we're going to shoot the cinder block. And first up, we have the 9mm. Alright, so as you can see, it hit the side because, of course, it's super inaccurate because, you know, the bullet's trash, it's flying everywhere. So, nailed right in the side and went through both layers of cinder block. So, alright, now we're going to try the American 45. Alright, as you can see, the 45 went through both sides, completely blew the top of it off. It's kind of like you have a bunch of Nazis standing in a line and the Sherman tank just blows them all to hell. So that's pretty cool. That's much better than the 9mm did, of course, because it's American, not German. So you should definitely stick with the 45.
10mm. Guns save lives and kill grizzly bears. The 10mm was designed to replace the 9mm for Americans. As you can see, it punched a hole perfectly round through the first block, and then the outside did a wonderful job of destroying the rest of the cinder block. That's why we had to save the 10mm for last. The Alaska State Police carries this caliber weapon. This is actually the same exact weapon that they carry for grizzly defense. We're going to finish off this cinder block. As you can see, the bullet's going so fast that the inside of the bullet, the lead core, just goes straight through the copper jacket. Nothing compares to a 10 mil.
It's 9mm. So as you can see, it's about as effective as like an average airsoft spring pistol. It does about the same damage. You could probably actually take this to one of those airsoft ranges and have some fun with those guys. So now we'll shoot the rest of it with the 45. Well, one shot is all you need. It's like every other time you need to bring out a 45. You only need to shoot it one time. Job's taken care of. So completely destroyed this block. One shot. Just like it's supposed to. You had to have 5 rounds of 9mm to do the same job. So it's a pretty crappy bullet.
10mm gong target. Okay, so we should have shot one of the other rounds first, because it took the whole center out of this one. Our walk target. If you have any walks at home you're not using, or your parents have that they're not using, send them in. So due to the inconvenience earlier, we'll be shooting this flipper target. Not that part, but one of the parts that holes in it. That one, so it's fair for everybody. Alright.
Alright, so we're going to start out with the BB gun, the 9mm, sorry. It's basically the same thing. Alright, so as you can see, hit it right there, we believe. Just kind of chipped the paint, not anything serious. Here's one of the bullets we found on the ground that ricocheted. So, didn't even flip it over. Nope. Now we're going to shoot with 45, flip this thing over. Alright, well, as you can tell, we rocked this thing's world pretty good. You can't really see where it hit. Right there, right there, right there, and right there you can kind of see. Here's a bullet we found.
And another one.
There's another one. It's completely mushroomed out flat. That one's sideways. That's the side of the bullets. That's kind of interesting. But it almost knocked it over, but still not hitting it hard enough to flip the target over.
10 millimeter. So some pretty shitty shooting on my part, but he rocked it about the same as a 45. Right there's how close the rounds were getting to it.
You should show that.
We also just noticed that the 10 millimeter sunk it into the ground, so it had some serious power knocking it back. Thanks for watching. This is the end of our video. Be sure to subscribe and watch our other cool videos. Most of our other videos are a lot cooler, but check out our Desert Eagle that's actually made of Legos. It shoots. It's a really cool video. You'd like it if you like this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. This is the end. Thank you. So we didn't have rounds for the Desert Eagle today. That's the only reason we didn't bring it out, and it obviously would have outperformed all of our other weapon systems today. I carry a 10 millimeter. However, 45 is the best round ever. Ever. That's no kidding.